So what's mostly on your homework, since we've kind of seen, quadratics before, is this new, and again, I think you learned this in 8th grade, I might be wrong, but finding the axis of symmetry from an equation. So at the top, I'm giving you a quadratic, y equals x squared plus 5x plus 4. And you don't even have to graph it, okay? You can find the axis of symmetry and the vertex from just the equation. So here, the equation for axis symmetry, which is also on your PDF of assignment, is x equals negative b over 2a. This is always going to be the equation to help you find the axis of symmetry. Okay? So again, the axis of symmetry is giving you an x value. It's saying x equals something. So again, I labeled a, b, and c for you. On our quadratic, a is the first number, so it's 1, b is 5, c is 4. You plug it in, so negative b, so a negative 5, divided by 2 times a. 2 times a is 1. X equals negative 5 over 2, which is negative 2.5. So this is our axis of symmetry. You're already solved for it. Okay, to find the vertex, well, the vertex x value is the axis of symmetry. So you already know that x is negative 2.5. Well, how do you find y if you know an x value? You go back to your equation and plug in your x that you found to get your y. So I plugged it in the calculator. Negative 2.5 squared plus 5 times negative 2.5 plus 4, right? I'm just copying the equation. My y value turns out to be negative 2.25. So here's my x, here's my y, so my vertex is that middle point. Okay, so if you look at the chart of this equation, I graphed the equation, here's the table of values. If you notice, here's the pattern. You see 18, 10, 4, 0, negative 2, and then it repeats negative 2, 0, 4, 10, 18. But usually we're looking for that number in between. Do you see a number in between? No, there's some times where you'll see the repeated symmetrical pattern, but there's not going to be a different number in the middle to tell you the vertex. So this is where this new process comes into great play, using this negative b over 2a, okay, to find the vertex. So again, to find the axis of symmetry, you use this new equation, x equals negative b over 2a. Once you find x, if you want to find the vertex, you take the value you found for x, plug it into the original to solve for y to get your vertex point. Again, the vertex is that middle. It's the middle point of the symmetry. It's the middle point also between the two values that hit that x-axis. If you look at this chart, what are the two values that hit the x-axis? How do you know? If I'm talking about where it's hitting the x-axis, that means that if it's hitting the x-axis, that means y has to be 0. So where is y equal to 0, where it's hitting the x-axis? Negative 4 and negative 1. So that is actually the solutions to this quadratic. So, that's another thing we're going to dive into, right? The two solutions to a quadratic, which is why we did this practice before, is where you're setting the equation equal to 0, or where y equals to 0. So when y equals 0, it's where it crosses that x-axis. Okay? Here's just another problem. Finding the axis symmetry, negative b over 2a, rate of change. So if we go to your homework for lesson B, oh my goodness. Okay? Quadratic function is a function that we written in standard form. Every quadratic function has a u-shaped called a blank. You should know that. If the leading coefficient a is positive, the parabola opens where? Does it open up or down? If it's negative, is it opening up or down? The blank is the lowest point of a parabola that opens up. The line passing through the vertex that divides the parabola into two symmetric parts, you should know that. The solutions of quadratic functions can also be called, I'm going to help you with this one, the roots. The x-intercepts, and we'll go over this one for number 7. You don't have to worry about it. We haven't really talked about it, but one of the answers is called roots. It's where it crosses the x-axis. So they actually give you notes on how to solve the homework, and your assignment is